Hello, Steve White from Steve Arts 89. Something I wanted to talk about for a while was Ghostbusters. I've been meaning to do a proper video on Ghostbusters 2016 and the um, the issues with the sequel, the third sequel, and all of that. But I'm gonna just do a proper video on that one day because that's really complicated, and that was sort of the start of the whole this whole mess that we're in at the moment with the fandom, where the studios basically hate the fans and are blaming them for making very flawed films, and then blaming the fans and saying they're all racist and misogynist because they don't like their films. And that really started with Ghostbusters 2016. Now the great thing is they're doing another sequel, and it is a direct sequel. Apparently, it's a direct sequel to the original two films, and it's nothing to do with the reboot and Answer the Call. So that's good. The problem, God, I guess I'll just do it all briefly. The original sequel was going to be a proper sequel to the second film. It's going to be the third film, and because the second film didn't do so well, it just got pushed off, and then eventually it turned into this kind of reboot where it was going to be the children of the Ghostbusters that would be boys and girls, and they're going to have the original cast. It's going to be a passing of the torch, and then the kids would go off and do the films, and the original actors could still appear, and it was a really good idea. I thought it was really good. It's a bit Starfleet Academy, but I thought it would work, and I heard about it for years, and I was hoping it would happen. And then news came that they were going to do one with all girls, and I thought, okay. I didn't realize it was going to be a reboot, and that they were going to just pretend like the old Ghostbusters didn't exist and not include the original characters. And overall, it didn't work. The film itself, I heard there was a lot of problems because some fans reacted to the idea of all girls, and it came across as very sexist because it seemed to be about the sex and the gender, not so much about you're replacing all our characters that we love with these other people. It just came across as sexist. I'm sure there are one or two random people that they make a post, it goes viral, and then that gets sort of taken as the tone of the whole fan reaction, which is a bit unfair. So there was a bit of that, and I knew that going in. But I enjoyed the film pretty much. It was okay. It was funny in parts, but the main issue that I had was that the only male in the film is a himbo to the point of possibly being intellectually disabled, and it's almost like they're taking advantage of this guy. You just feel bad. I couldn't laugh at it. I didn't find it funny, and I just sort of thought this is really putting women back because it's treating a man. It's just reversing things, and it's really not progress. It's really not elevating the women. Like if you have to demean men and put men down and have men be idiots and assholes so the women look good, you're really not creating great strong characters or really achieving anything. So I didn't appreciate that element of the film, but other parts of it I did actually kind of enjoy, and it wasn't as bad as what I thought. Um, so yeah, but then I started listening to a lot of the reviews and a lot of things that people were saying, and I kind of realized a lot of the politics behind the film really were in the film, and they shouldn't have been. Um, so yeah, it's kind of difficult because I'm happy. It's fine for them to have an alternative version that had women in it instead, and for it to be like a girl power film and all that. But it just wasn't the right platform for it. It wasn't the right um, franchise for it. They should have just created their own film instead of taking the original and basically destroying it for a lot of fans, because it's just our characters are gone. The reality's gone. The story's gone. It's just the setting, everything's gone. It's just rebooted. Um, and that was a lot of people's problem, was that it was being rebooted, not so much that they used a female cast. So they could have had the Ghostbusters just looking for new Ghostbusters, and they just happened to have all women, and that would have worked. They could have had them all be the daughters of the original Ghostbusters. That would have worked. But it was more the reboot, and then the few idiots who did make some ridiculous comments were the ones who got all the attention, and then the studio started attacking the fans, and the stars started attacking the fans, and the media started attacking the fans, and it just became this ugly thing that became the standard and the fashion. And now you create a work film, if it doesn't do well, you call the critics racist and sexist and idiots, and everyone gives the film a pass and gives it credit it doesn't deserve because it's diversity and needs to be supported, and it needs to work on its own merit, not just on that. So that's been a very uncomfortable balance that they've been trying to strike for the last few years, with a lot of films that had some very obvious gender politics inserted in, which really detracted from the actual story and the enjoyment, because you're getting slapped in the face with it all the time. It's not subtle, it's not being slid in, so it's difficult. And then there's also, Doctor Who. They made a female Doctor Who. Most people didn't care about that. The problem was they didn't just change the sex of the Doctor, they changed everything about the show. They basically rebooted it. They made it a lot more serious, a lot more dramatic, a lot more just talking and emotions, and they didn't use a lot of the villains and characters that had already been associated and used in the show. And they changed the music. They just changed everything about it, and it didn't work as well, and people didn't enjoy it, and the ratings did drop. And everyone blamed it on the fans being racist and not liking a female Doctor. They were so stupid to change the sex of the Doctor and change the show at the same time. So people didn't like the change of the format and the change in the style of the show. That was going to be associated with the change of the sex and with Jodie Whittaker, and that wasn't really fair. So we've had this same thing sort of happening with Star Trek as well, where everyone wants a Captain Pike show, but they're focusing on their female black actress because that is diversity, that is what they want, that is their agenda. But she's not a good character. People want Pike. Pike is more interesting. Pike and the Enterprise and Spock is far more interesting than Mikey Spock and I've forgotten her name, the redhead. So we keep having this thing happen, but fortunately, we're so far along now that Ghostbusters, they've totally abandoned the 2016 reboot and that universe. They could, I guess, do a sequel one day down the track, but commercially I don't see why they would, but some people might want to see it. The actors would want to do it. That might happen. But for now, they are doing a straight reboot, and so far as we hear, all the main actors are coming back, including Janine, I've forgotten her name, the actress who played Janine, and Sigourney Weaver, and they are going to kick ass, and it's going to be great. Now, whether they get back Rick Moranis, we're not sure because he's retired, but it's going to be a continuation. It's going to have male and female cast. There is no appeasing sexist fans, which is the way it's being portrayed as some loss to feminism because they abandoned the female version and they're going back and doing a sequel to the original. That's what people want. That is those films. So just enjoy it. Enjoy the fact that there's going to be representation and it's going to be good, hopefully. So we'll see. But I'm watching that, and if anyone knows anything, let me know. Feel free to comment. Please subscribe or like. And let's just have fun watching it and hope it delivers. Thanks. Bye.